purified, it makes a second fall unlikely. This is better preaching than the amens that I'm getting, but that's okay. Okay, it makes a second fall unlikely. So notice, by the way, can I talk about this? Notice what we talk about in the church. Here's what we talk about in the church. We talk about the church that we need to be purified. And what we talk about is that we got to purify ourselves. You got to do this. You got to do that. You got to do this. But that's not how David prayed. David said to God, purify me. Okay, all right. Y'all didn't get it. So let me see if I can. God would not leave the work of purification to us. He wouldn't leave purification solely in our hands because we would pick and choose what needs to be purified and what doesn't. Okay, I'm almost out of time, but let me talk very quickly. I can remember growing up as a young boy and having the obligation, that's not the word, you clean your room when you get your behind beat. What's that called? Responsibility. Thank you very much. Okay, I had the responsibility of cleaning my room. Now, when I went in and cleaned my room, I decided what I was going to take care of and what I wasn't going to take care of. There was certain stuff that I felt like it was okay. It was good. Let me straighten up my books. Let me just wipe across the covers. And I've just now cleaned my room. Now, when my mother would come into my room, she would look at the room much differently than I looked at the room. She would begin to point out to me, why y'all leave your children alone while I'm talking, please. She would begin to point out to me areas that I had missed. So even though my room met my standard, it didn't reach her standard. And if she wanted the room to be properly purified, she had to sometimes stay in there with me and supervise me until the purification process had been completed. Are you listening to me? What I'm saying to you is that purification cannot be solely left into our hands. God has to supervise our purification process. So purify me, God, because I don't want anything in my life that you don't want there. Okay, so now let's talk about that. So let's talk about that. Okay, and so what happens now in the church is that people come to church already knowing what they want to be purified and what they don't want God to touch. Don't touch this part of my life because of various reasons. I was born this way. This just the way I think. This just the way I am. This just the way I feel. This just the way I want to be. And therefore, God, you don't deal with this aspect of my life. Now, anything else, if you want to teach me how to shout, I'm down with that. If you want to teach me how to speak in tongues, I'm down with that. But if you want to teach me how to stop fornicating, I'm not down with that. Why y'all don't want me to talk here this morning? I'm not down with that. And therefore, that's why we have to openly come before God and say, God, you purify me, because I don't want to pick and choose what's convenient and what's inconvenient. David said on another occasion, as I close my message, he says, Lord, cleanse thou me of secret faults. In other words, I want you to get to a place where my purity is gratifying you rather than gratifying me. Okay, so I'm moving. So God, is up to you if I'm gonna come back from this fall. And when I was in my fall, I recognized that God, God, I'm coming and I'm gonna make myself available. But God, I can't deal with those same demons I've been dealing with if I'm gonna have victory over them. Y'all didn't want me to talk about that? God, I can't keep dealing with the same demons because they are defeating me in my flesh. And I know they're defeating me in my... See, some of y'all want the devil to stay around. I don't want him to stay around. I ain't trying to prove nothing. And as I say, the problem with the church is that we don't believe in deliverance anymore. We believe in management. We don't believe in deliverance. We believe in management. Well, what do you mean by that, brother preacher? We manage our demons. That's what we do. We manage them. We don't get delivered. I'm just going to manage my demons. I would get ready to cuss at you. Why? Cussing still in you. I would get ready to do this. Well, why is that still in you? Why? Because you're just managing it. You ain't been delivered. You ain't been set free. The church ought to be. I'm trying to stop looking at pornography. Well, why you ain't been delivered? Because you're just managing it. Oh, see, y'all don't like my preaching, don't like nothing I'm saying now, but I've been doing it for 25 years. I'm saying what I want to say this month. We're just managing. We ain't delivered. We're just managing. I'm just managing it. I'm managing. I know I got this demon in me, but I'm just going to manage it. I'm just going to manage. Y'all better be glad I ain't say what I want to say. It's because you're managing your demon. Why y'all don't want? Boy, y'all look like if I would just stop right now, y'all would throw some money on the altar just for me stopping. We're managing rather than being delivered. I begin to recognize that about myself, that I'm managing rather than being delivered. You can tell if you're managing versus delivering, because when you're managing it, you know, you're able to be good for a couple of weeks. Good for a couple of weeks. I mean, you're just good. You know, woo, glory! You know, good for a couple of weeks. Then all of a sudden, bam! And when it hits hard. I mean, it hits hard, and you have to make a decision. See, I talk from a place of experience. I ain't talking from this lofty pulpit position. I'm talking from a place of experience. When it hits hard, it's like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? And you feel like it's easier to go ahead and do it rather than to resist it. And do it just to get it over so you can feel like you'll get back in another cycle of being better. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about, but you're just acting like you don't want to look. You kind of looking at, you wish we would put the lights back on so you have something to follow. What's going on? Okay. Yeah, the devil trying to trip me. We got to get from the place of managing to the place of deliverance. And so David recognized that about himself, and that's why he's saying to God, God, I need you to purify me, man. I need you to take this stuff out of me. It's in me. I know it's there. I know I'm a man after your own heart. I know I'm the praise and worship psalmist leader. I know I can play and evil spirits get driven out, but I need the stuff driven out of me. I need you to hear what I just now said. Because you can have the ability to drive stuff out of other people at the same time, still have stuff going on the inside of you that you... Lord, while I'm purifying others, God, I need you to purify me. God, while I'm preaching to others, God, I need you to preach it in me. God, while... Okay, I'm almost done. I'm so glad the choir ain't up here today. They be throwing stuff at me. Oh, God. Oh, this is the right week. Oh, please. Okay, 2 minutes, I'm done. 2 minutes, I'm done. So he says, purify me, because there's no resurgence without a purification. Why would God put you back in your place and not purify you before you get there? Does that make sense to you? It doesn't make any sense to me that God would just put me back in my place without any purification. If I don't have the purification, it's likely I'm going to go back and do the thing again. Okay. All right. So then, I'm skipping, y'all. I promise you I'm skipping. So the next thing he talks about. Okay, let's talk about the next thing he talks about. After the purification, I'll read it to you again. The next thing he says, verse number 7, he said, purify me. Then he says, oh, give me back my joy again. This is verse 8. Give me back my joy again. And then verse number, I'm just trying to move around a little bit. What verse I want to say? This one right here, verse number 10. Creating me a clean heart, O God. Now listen to this part. Renew a loyal spirit within me. Okay. I know King James says right spirit, but I like that. Renew a loyal spirit in me. Because if there's going to be a resurgence, there's two things that got to happen. There's besides other stuff that I'm talking about. Again, I'm going quick because it's time to close. I'm sorry. The next two things he talked about are what I call important inner inside motivations, okay? These are necessary if you want to have a resurgence. He says, give me back my joy and give me a loyal spirit. Give me back my joy, give me a loyal spirit. Or as the rest of that verse says, make me willing to obey you. Yeah. So listen to me. I need you to get this, okay? He says, first of all, give me back my joy again. Because joy, the Bible says that we serve the Lord with gladness. Joy is a part of our relationship with God. When God restores the joy of relationship, have you ever, okay, let's talk. Ernest, hurry up. I'm sorry, y'all, but let's talk. Have you ever had a relationship that had been severed? A relationship that had severed, but it was restored, okay? And there was all this joy in the fact that now you are back with that person, or you're back with that friendship, or you're back. No, you ever had that? Lord have mercy. Okay, there's a joy that comes along with that. It's like, and you feel kind of guilty for all the years you may have missed because you weren't hanging out together, and you're like, man, we should have never allowed this to happen. We should have never lost contact because there's such joy. Well, that's how it is when you come and have this restoration with God. Okay? Because it's like, man, I shouldn't have missed that week. I shouldn't have missed those days, those months where I was out of the will of God. There's a joy that we get restored. But then the last part of it says, give me a loyal spirit. God, give me a loyal spirit. This means we're saying to God, God, I have a problem with distraction. And I've got a problem with being fascinated by stuff. And when I get fascinated by stuff, oh, let me go over here and check that out. But I'm saying, God, give me a loyal spirit. Listen to me, y'all. You got to understand what David is saying. David was out on that rooftop, looked over at that woman, and all of a sudden lost all of his loyalty to his wife and to his God, and went out there and slept with that woman. David is saying, God, I don't want to be like that anymore. Give me a loyal spirit. I'm praying for you men to have a loyal spirit to your wives. I'm praying for you wives to have a loyal spirit to your husband. I'm talking about a loyal spirit. No, see, a loyal spirit means that I don't have to make a decision. The decision's already made. I can't get y'all to say nothing to me. The decision is already made. I don't care who hollering at you in the Piggly Wiggly. The decision is already made. I ain't got no time to be talking to you. I'm going home to my husband. I'm going home to my wife. I saw probably last year sometime, maybe 2 years ago. You know, time runs fast. I saw my wife was in some store and some guy was hollering at her. Lowe's. She was in Lowe's. That's what she was. Okay. Was that Lowe's? He said, well, he must have been following you too. Okay. Hollering at her, trying to, sweet talk her, talking about, hey, I'll marry you today. I wasn't concerned about that because she's loyal to me. So your eyes may shine, your teeth may grit, but that girl there, you ain't gonna get. Loyal. And so what David is saying to God, God, I want you to give me a loyal spirit where I don't be fascinated by all the stuff that attracts me and gets me out of your will and gets me out of your place. I need a loyal spirit. Okay, and so I'm done, y'all. I promise you. I forgive me, y'all. I'm done. And thank you for my clap. Okay, and I don't know if it was a clap because anything I said was good or because you wanted me to be done. I'm not sure how to take that. But he said, give me back my joy. Give me a loyal spirit. Make me willing. Listen to this, y'all. Make me willing to obey you. So remember the preacher was up here a couple of weeks ago? The preacher that was talking about his midterm or whatever he was talking about. Remember he said that there were two things that were on the test. It says God is able, God is willing. And he talked about the fact that the thing is, Kenneth, why do you look uncomfortable while I'm talking right now? Just sit back, Kenneth. Sit back and relax, okay? And so, and talking about this, he was talking about that God is not just able, but he really focusing on the fact that God was willing. In other words, he wanted to do it. David is saying to God, God, I want you to give me something on the inside of me that makes me want to do this. Now, if you really think about this, this is against all of our theology right here. I don't know if y'all even thought about this. This is against all of our theology. Because what we say is that we're just free will agents. We do what we want to do, and God's not going to make us do anything, right? Isn't that what we say? Don't get uncomfortable with me now. But what David is saying, God, I don't even want that right. Take away my rights to freedom. Because serving you is so important. I would rather for you to dictate what I do rather than you leaving it up to me. When David began to say that, the last thing that David says, not the last thing, but the next thing David says, he says this, then I'm going to teach transgressors your ways. Notice that David does not bring up ministry until after the purification and the change of the inner attitude. Some people, when they fall, all they're worrying about is getting back to ministry. You better be more concerned about getting back to God. So stand up with me. I'm done. I apologize for being so late. I bored you all, so one of y'all preachers on the front row, get ready to preach at 11. Get something. Praise Jesus. If you had a major fall and you have not recovered from it as of yet, I want you to come to the altar. I know this, what I'm saying now is kind of tough. It's kind of, I don't want nobody to know, all that kind of stuff. But listen to me. When you become desperate for God, you don't care what people say or how they evaluate what's happening in your life. Just, hey, you had a major fall. You're ready to get back to God. You're ready for this resurgence to happen in your life. You don't want to put the blame on nobody but you. Don't put the blame on anybody but you. God is here today to purify you, to put the inner drive in you that you need for you to be who God has called you to be. Then you'll be able to do the other stuff. So if you need to come on. I mean, nothing. I don't have no judgment. This is a no judgment zone right here. This is just a place where you